Um, Not me getting back on schedule. Happy Monday. Feels good to sip my tea with y'all at the start of a new week. Mm, I feel like we got a lot to talk about. Where do we start? Where do we start? This is the no, second mm, second time. This is the second time I've done absentee ballot voting. Um, for a major election. Like both times Donald Trump was on the ballot, I've been abroad. And it feels like it's not just serendipity. It's like I needed to force myself outside of the US during this time. And I'm on social media less, so I'm also not being bombarded daily with like the constant political debates or the dumb things that he's currently saying and like what's in the news. Not gonna lie, the SNL skits, every now and then I'll see those, and those are hilarious. Bipartisan humor is, I think, what will heal the country. But anyways, I'm over US politics. And the more you step outside of the bubble that is America, the more you realize it is all just this game of greed and power and corruption. And it's so interesting because we look at crime, right? Like, homicide is horrifying, of course. And there's all types of crimes that we label as like, oh my gosh, that person is a monster. How could they murder someone? But then you look at other types of crimes that have to do with like whether it's scam or exploitation or extortion or corruption. And we don't look at those crimes at this, we don't carry those crimes at the same weight, but those are the ones that people at the top have been able to get away with. And it's why it has become so normal for like that to be the leading. Yeah, it's just, I wish we viewed the types of crimes that people on the ballot, people, Donald Trump, uh, we viewed it with the same like weight that every other horrible crime is viewed with, because it wouldn't even be a question of like how he got on the ticket. Like, why is he there? Okay, anyways, let me shift the energy. I hate that I started on that note, but I wanted to touch on a couple things. First, the panic of the year ending and forcing the finishing of a chapter when you're not done with the work. And I can feel that like anxiety with some of my clients. And I feel so bad because I want to let them know that the changing of a year doesn't mean you have to change like your goals. Like if you don't hit what you wanted to hit in 2024, it doesn't mean your whole 2025 strategy has to go down the drain. And that, a 12-month calendar is convenient in many ways. And we sometimes have these milestone goals for our years, certain years of our life, or just certain years in the calendar. And if we don't feel like we made enough progress, we almost like we delay our journey even more because now we have to make space for like 6 months of guilt and shame. And I really wish we could start rewriting the narrative of like what we're able to accomplish within a single calendar year. And when I look back on some of the things that feel effortless now, and I look back at the things I started doing at 11, and I'm like, you can't look at how I show up or how I do things because this is 2 decades of practice. And it's not easy to stay committed. It's not easy to stay consistent. It's not easy to be disciplined. And I think if ease is what we're after, it's going to be a hard life. Ironically, the contrast of chasing ease means that you're like avoiding the hard things that are necessary for growth. So if you do the hard things daily, that's where ease becomes a natural byproduct. So it's just like, yeah, it's hard because I know that as a coach, I'm both like a consultant and a cheerleader in one. Like I'm encouraging them to like listen to their body and rest if they need to, but I also want to push and challenge them to do better and do more. And more not in like the toxic hustle grind, but like do more than they think they're capable of doing so that they can surprise themselves. Because it's not me telling you, like, if you I don't know, make two different offers or write two newsletters or create an email campaign or post 5 times a week. It's not that that's going to change your business. It's you saying, like, I only have capacity for one and then doing two. And every time you surprise yourself, your self-respect goes up. And I think that's like the ultimate journey. How can I get to a point where I respect myself and my goals so much that it doesn't matter what I feel like, it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. I know that I can trust my world and myself. And that's ultimately all that, like, that's the only stable thing in this world is God and like how you show up for yourself. So God is unchanging. He is the rock. So if you can look at yourself as a secondary rock, because you know that your habits are so embedded into who you are and your integrity is so high, like, yeah, it can just help you like show up for yourself in a deeper way. Mm. Anyways, I say all that to say I feel like, yeah, good about 2024. I think my word of the year was experiment. And so each month I experimented with a new thing. And gosh, it's October 14th, and I don't quite have an experiment for this month. Maybe I'll do an experiment with like, huh, two things came to mind. Selling daily on my stories. Actually, I kind of have been doing an experiment. I've been posting one story a day on Instagram. And that one story will get like times 300% viewership and engagement because right now Instagram is rewarding people who are only posting one frame. And it's really hard sometimes to like follow the gimmicks and the games. But when they work, you're like, okay, well, let's see how much longer I have. So in that one story, I'm like, one day I'm posting like something that is like connecting me to my audience. The next day I'm posting like asking for the sale and not being afraid to do that. I think in the past, like even after like over a decade of like selling online, it still feels weird to be like, hey guys, give me your money. No, it's, I mean, it's a value exchange, but no one likes to be sold to, but everyone loves a sale. So finding the most aligned way to say, hey, the people who need me, I'm here for you, and here's how we can work together without like forcing the same message down people's throats, especially if they aren't who you're trying to talk to. And I think because a lot of the messages and stories that I tell have a universal reach and perspective, and it's for anyone, not just for entrepreneurs, it makes it hard for me to delineate between, okay, this is the message for just entrepreneurs, that like the promotional messages, and then these are the universal life messages for everyone else. And trying to manage, like, how can I make sure I'm only reaching these people? And it's like, Chloe, get over it. Like the people who are non-entrepreneurs will see your stuff of you promoting your high ticket offers, and you have to be okay with like looking or being unrelatable to them in that degree. And I think I've started to like get more I don't know, there's been an interesting like churn. Like I would say like this year I had a 5% churn of like replacing followers. I mean, I think I'm only like net 2,000 in growth. I'm gaining thousands of followers a month, but I'm losing thousands of followers a month. So it's like net 2K plus 2K. And in the like the churn of the exchanging of people, I think I'm just getting like higher caliber thinkers and like people, which I'm like, oh, I like it here. And all it took is like me just showing up and being more of myself. And I think when you keep trying to hide who you really are, you're just delaying the process of people who need you discovering you. So yeah. Mm. But kind of going back to the point of like experiment and yeah, feeling like yeah, I'm ending the year. I have a couple kind of like cool passion projects that I'm doing. And yeah, there were some really cool opportunities that like sounded exciting in the beginning, but when you really take into account just the cost of your energy, because my energy is expensive, my time is expensive. And if I keep just all willy-nilly hanging it out, handing it out, hanging out, handing it out all willy-nilly, um, I have less capacity to create aligned content or show up for my clients in aligned ways and pour from a space of abundance. So it's like, genuinely speaking, I'm a better person, a better human, a better coach, a better friend when I'm like defending my time like relentlessly and I'm saying, nope, that's not worth my time. And that sounds like really harsh to say, like that's not worth my time. But now I'm like, oh no, genuinely, the worth of my time and that isn't worth it. Like it's a genuine statement. Oh, it's just not worth my time. And one day I'll maybe be bold enough to actually say that, like, oh, sorry, that's not worth my time. I think that's what we tell ourselves is like, oh, that ain't worth my time, girl. But to actually say that to someone and be so like bold and forward, um, with a declaration of like, oh no, my time is worth more than what I would gain from showing up in that space. So yeah, I feel good about ending this year. Just a couple passion projects, our honeymoon, and just yeah, like the closing of a chapter. My lease will officially end December 9th. So have everything moved out. And yeah, for the first time, spending the new year, for the first time in a long time, I'll say, spending the new year kind of like as an in-betweener and like with all my stuff in the suitcase, like, let's go. So if you see me repeating outfits, mind your business. Okay, next, the beauty of not belonging. I have recognized that the more I speak up and use my voice and like advocate for what I believe is right and like stick up for my values, the more I isolate myself. And that could be like alarming because you're like, wait, don't you want to rub elbows with powerful people? Don't you want to uh, get into those rooms and stay in those spaces? And if it comes at the cost of your character, no, you don't. And I think I'm just getting really, really clear about not just what my values are, but like what I'm fighting for, what I'm doing all of this for. And there might be a season, like specifically, I'm talking to you. If you know that you were made for more and you are just living, you're out here living different. Like you've got a divine assignment and calling on your life, and you know that like God is using you for a very specific purpose. God is using all of us, but He has a few chosen favorites. I'm not gonna lie. And if you know you're out here doing the Lord's work, literally and figuratively, then you cannot just be out here doing all the things that the world is doing. And I think naturally you might feel isolated by that and embarrassed or ashamed and nervous. But know that in the long term, that's actually creating an arena and a lane of your own because you look at like what's happening to Diddy and all the people that associated with him because he was this big guy. And now all the people trying to dissociate. And like literally, some people are like moving to Europe to like try to make sure they are so like physically disconnected from what's going on in Diddy's world because there was an association in the past. So I'm like mindful of like, man, some people's success isn't like clean. And if I know I'm out here doing clean work with and moving with integrity, I don't want my integrity compromised by proxy. So I am okay to be alone or move in isolation in certain seasons and phases and periods of life if I know that I am protecting my peace and protecting my values. Yeah. Um, I am also coming to the end. I have the second to last, no, my final call for my mastermind is next Sunday. And I can like see the panic in their eyes. Like, what will we do? And I never want to be a coach that's like you rely on me to feel like you're making progress or like you need me. Because if you need me, I'm not doing my job, which should be to be equipping you with the tools, the skill sets, the beliefs, the patterns, the resources, and the frameworks to move forward on your own. And I know self-education and investing in yourself is an ongoing process, but I always look at it like nutrition. Just like you need like a well-balanced diet and vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D. I'm only one vitamin, and too much of one vitamin is not healthy. And it actually might be like lethal. So I'm like trying to advocate for them to get other voices in their life, not only other voices, but other resources, because you make a better and a more informed decision when you can compare a couple ideologies or a couple frameworks and figure out what makes the most sense for you. Like when I think about how I built my business and the books and the courses and the masterminds I invested in, there wasn't one single framework or one single path that I said, yes, I am copy paste, put into my business and I'm going to drive this puppy home. You don't drive puppies. Is that a saying? I'm gonna drive this puppy. I'm like, ooh. how do some sayings come about? I'm gonna drive, is it puppy? I'm gonna drive this car home. I'm gonna drive this trucky home. Sup- Brain glitch in real time. This is unedited. You're gonna drive that sucker home. Maybe it's sucker. Drive that sucker home. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So it'll be interesting having like a couple weeks without coaching calls, but I still have my private clients, so I'm looking forward to that. But my group containers are always really fascinating because people go on a journey with each other, but also with themselves. And I think they're also like not grieving the community because they're all connected on WhatsApp now. But yeah, sometimes you miss the camaraderie from those like weekly or bi-weekly accountability calls. So that's that. What we're working on with upcoming programs, I guess. I have my Bali bootcamp applications for 2025. That link is in the description. We have our Life Leap. We're testing out a new format for our upcoming cohort where it's going to kind of be self-sustained. Like we had it on a drip basis where people were dripped 3 to 4 new videos every week. And now we're going to see like, okay, what would it be like if someone can kind of choose their own adventure and go at their own speed? And like, if they want to complete the course in, like, normally it should take you 3 months, but if they want to complete it in 3 weeks, like, what does that do for them? And so testing out different ways that we can like work with people and support them on their life leap. And their life leap might be moving to a new country, like moving their family to a new country and figuring out a way to sustain themselves like that. It might be quitting their job. It might be changing careers or changing industries. It might be finding love. Like the life leap is all about doing the scary thing that you never thought was possible until you just took one step at a time and found yourself doing it. It's also about equipping you to live a more purposeful life. What does it take to truly live in alignment? What does it take to truly seek out your purpose? And what does it take to like fully be adequate? What does it take to adequately be compensated for your time? So yeah, and it's beautiful because it's all the things that we've learned in the decades combined, because Stefan is like all Silicon Valley, all tech, all startup world, and he has such beautiful insight and yeah, just structure for how to operate and manage yourself and run a business and run a company. And it's great because it's really humbled and helped me in the process. And even with the launch of our sister company, the Love Leap, it's been really fun too. We have over 100 couples that we're going to figure out how to travel with at least 10 next year. And honestly, that's a passion company. That's a passion project. Like it's a beautiful thing to start something for fun and then also be paid for it. Like it's not something we're doing to scale and make millions of dollars. It's like literally we genuinely want to help couples like restore their love or strengthen it or make new memories or get outside of the mundane or take their first international trip since having kids. So like there's just so many ways that we want to show up for people and in this world. And it's fun to like be doing it with like your purpose partner. So that's been really, 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 really dope. But yeah, back to the point of like not forcing strategy. Strategy is what you need when you don't trust yourself to show up with alignment and discernment and intuition. Like strategy is what you fall back on when like I don't want to say you don't trust yourself, but like maybe nothing else has worked. And nothing also being like your own intuition and your own flow. And in the greatest spurts of like growth spurts financially or social media wise, there wasn't a specific strategy I followed. I followed intuition. I followed God's downloads. And I was like, okay, this is what there's a voice and this is what's being implanted. So let me just be obedient and let me surrender because this is what I think is what I'm supposed to be doing. And as soon as it no longer felt aligned, I opted out. I didn't care what I was losing in the process because alignment is the most, it's also expensive. Your energy is expensive, but alignment is expensive. And if you lose it, you pay a heavy price trying to get it back. And Yeah, some people it takes years for them to get back in alignment. So I think I'm mindful of just that process of always making sure the things that I'm doing make sense. Can y'all see the split? Okay. Fitness journey fluctuations. I am, my cheeks are big again. Y'all see, your girl's been eating again. I hate how 10 pounds up or down on a weekly basis. This is not healthy. I should not be thinking about cake and then gaining cake weight within the same hour. Like, I hate that this happens to me. But I'm not going to come from the lens of shame. I'm going to love my body for taking care of me and keeping me safe. But I know that, yeah, I've got to really take my habits seriously moving forward. I know that it's very easy for me to succumb to the pressures of like beautiful meals every day and just eating whatever I feel like it and chicken quesadilla this, chicken quesadilla that. Like just the food in Bali is just out of this world. It's almost unfair. And sometimes your girl be indulging and I gotta get my gluttonous ways in check. So yeah, I think it's beautiful when it's like the start of a new week. And also what I like, we're in a new villa this week. And what we're kind of doing is we're like checking out different neighborhoods, different streets, different areas, different properties, and seeing what we like. So changing villas can be a good and a bad thing. For me, I love it because I feel like I can adapt a new character. I'm like, all right, this is the villa where I'm healthy. So, I swear, like I'm gonna change everything. Each new villa, I'm like, okay, well, this is a villa where I no longer drink Coke Zero. And this is a villa where and I just like build this whole character. But for Stefan, he's like really good about staying committed to his habits no matter where we are. But it does take him like 1 or 2 days to stabilize in a new space and even sleep. It takes him a while to like get used to a new bed. And I think it's a primal thing because I learned this from my friend's husband as well. Like he also has this like primal energy of like knowing how to protect the house and protect his wife if someone were to break in. And so it's like it's interesting just kind of understanding what men mentally and psychologically go through. Yeah, when their pattern and habits are disrupted. Okay. Yeah, so honestly, we were trying to find rental equipment because the I think the closest gym here is maybe a 7 minute drive, 5 minute drive, which isn't too bad. Yeah. But it's like you want to remove the barriers. Like the very first villa that we stayed in for 3 weeks had a gym on the rooftop. Like, come on. Just perfect situation. You wake up and the gym is the gym is waiting for you. So we were working out like 90% of the time and it was just a great situation. And the most recent villa, we had a nice balcony terrace rooftop situation, but just the inspiration wasn't there. The interior design was very cozy, very cute, very quaint. So I think it just didn't inspire like hustle. It didn't inspire grind energy. It was like, come here, my child, and rest. Come, sit and be nothing. So I think I just like melted into the couch for the most of the last week. No regrets. But yeah, I think here either what I'm gonna do is like, hmm, I'm trying to look because we have a huge backyard, or I don't even a front yard. It's just a huge garden yard area. There's lots of room to like be active, which I love. And the pool is gorgeous. And even out like next to us, there's just a lot of space and a lot of land. So whether it's running or just jumping rope or just being outside and moving your body, like something is better than nothing. So taking it a step at a time and just doing a little bit. Okay. Last thing I want to end with this because it looks like it's going to be another 30-minute video. But last couple things I'll say is just not forcing yourself to be everyone's teacher. One thing that I used to take, I don't know if I even took pride in it. Like I thought it was my moral duty. Sorry. I took it as like a moral duty to teach the lessons that I had learned, hoping to save people from any trouble or issues that I had to overcome. And it's like when you block people's lessons, you're also blocking their blessings. Before I finished the sentence, I knew it was gonna be hot. The, the shimmy was internal. That's so good. Did I tell y'all I was a pastor's kid? I was a preacher's kid, y'all. So sometimes the words is from God. But yeah, honestly, if you try to teach people every lesson that you've learned and you don't allow them to go through life and experience some of the humbling things that are required for character development and growth, they're gonna block the person that they need. You're gonna block the person that they need to be and the things that they need to experience. So yeah, I've been learning that lesson lately, like literally stopping myself from inserting myself into people's like lives and situations because I took personal, again, pride and like responsibility of like, oh, I know I've been there. Oh, girl, let me save you the trouble. But it's like, no, like go through a little trouble. Like it's good to be brought down to your knees because you're in the perfect position to pray and to cry out to God and ask for his mercy and ask for his grace. And I think that's like part of the most beautiful, yeah, transformations and internal journeys you go on is recognizing there is no strategy that will get you through life other than opening up your Bible and like connecting with God and building a relationship and intimacy with him. So if that's what it takes, like these humbling life experiences for them to get to that position on their knees, then girl, like what am I doing getting in the way of that? So yeah, it's been really good to just stop myself. But what's ahead this week? My girl Jules is landing in Bali, and actually, I think she landed probably a little bit ago. Oh, I think I have. Let me see. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, 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 my delivery's here. I'm so sorry, guys. We got to end this. Love y'all. It's been cool. Bye.